Hey everyone, it's Graham from Great Off-Road Adventures. Welcome to our next trip. At the moment, we're at Munna Gorge up in the Pilbara, and we're going to explore Karijini, some secret spots around Tom Price and Paraburdoo, head out to the coast and head back home. Our adventure started a day ago when we left Perth. We drove a couple hours last night, got up to Salt Flat near Gibbeting, stayed the night there, and then this morning went through Paynes Find all the way up through Newman and up to here. So look, let's go back a day and have a look what happened. We left Perth after work on the Thursday afternoon to start banking the miles. We found an awesome campsite on the edge of a salt lake under 1 million stars, and after waiting on Friday we decided to hit the road and see what caught our eye. We've still got over 1,000 kilometres to go, so we're going to get back in the car. Kira and Eva are going to get back in the BT50. Let's hit the road north, show you some of the highlights on the way. The first place we stopped on our run north was the Granites, just north of Mount Magnet. It's a really nice place for a leg stretch and worth checking out. We're making pretty good time so far. We're just north of Mount Magnet, only about a couple k's out of town. On the right hand side you find this spot here is called the Granites, or the Granites. It's these breakaways, and they're massive, they're absolutely huge. I'll see if I might be able to throw the drone up and take some photos of them, but they're all the way around, all the way over the back here and obviously behind the car. It's pretty cool to check out. Nice little leg stretch. We've been on the road for a couple of hours this morning already. But we're making good time. Next stop for us will be Meekatharra. Jump out, probably stretch the legs, have a bit of lunch, and then we'll push on into Newman this afternoon. So today's a big day. It's probably over 1,000 kilometres all up today, and I was on top of 300 k's last night, yesterday afternoon. But it's all good. It's good fun. Good scenery. The furthest north I've been before was up to Ningen Station, so this is all new and uncharted territory for me. Anyway, keep rocking it and rolling. Shortly after leaving the Granites, and as is typical with any trip, you're never guaranteed a trouble-free run. Sadly, our first issue presented itself, and it was a little bit sooner than we would have liked.
So what's happened is Eva has spotted smoke issuing from the back of the 200 series. We're about 10 k's out of queue, and now we've discovered it's probably a turbo oil leak, and the smoke was a result of it hitting the hot exhaust.
Fortunately, it wasn't a turbo oil leak. It was actually just a bit of oil from my front diff had pushed itself out of the breather. So we believe it was a fraction over full to start with. Due to the hot ambient temperatures and hot engine bay temperatures, the oil expanded, pushed out the breather and landed on my exhaust. So after degreasing it, we monitored it. It never gave us any further issues for the rest of the trip, which is lucky. We just finished having some lunch. We stopped at the Meekatharra Rocks, I think is the word for them. It's a rocky formation about 20 k's out of Meekatharra. Pretty cool spot. Good for some lunch. Anyway, back on the road. 400 k's to Newman to go, and then a little bit after that to camp. Well guys, we've done all right today. It's just 6 o'clock and we maybe got 45 minutes to go to get to camp. We're just the other side of Newman, coming through Cathedral Gorge. Pretty cool spot, check it out the front. We're going all right, other than that little drama with some oil coming out of the breather for the transmission and transfer case. The drive up has been uneventful. So I was a little bit worried there with the oil, but we've degreased it all. The leak hasn't come back. So, you know, we've just been monitoring it. I've tried to buy some oil in Newman, but being Good Friday, the only place that's open is the BP and the Caltex, and believe it or not, neither of them have any differential oils, none at all. only engine oil. So that was a bit of a bummer. But look, we'll go to camp tonight, let everything cool down. It's been a hot day. Let it cool down. I'll check the levels in the morning. If the levels are okay, then we'll just push on. If the level's a bit down, or if it's concerning me, then we will double back the sort of 45 minutes to town. It'll be Saturday, some places might be open, and hopefully get some oil. But anyway, that's where we're at. Onwards we roll.
Do you reckon this is warm enough?
Probably, I reckon it is. Having gotten into camp in the dark, I sure was glad to have new King's rooftop tent. It's so easy to set up. Bed was already made in there. It was so simple. The other thing we did to save a bit of time was pre-cook a few meals at home, and anticipating big days on the road like the day we just had, it sure was nice to have a pre-cooked meal that took all of about 5 minutes in the pot to heat up. Meant we could go and sit by the fire, have a few cold drinks, start to relax and enjoy the holiday.
Yeah, it's all the dishes.
I'm literally losing my fingerprints at the moment. It is hot.
It is a bit hot, isn't it?
Oh my god!
Finally, acknowledgement. It's a bit hot.
I have
I
like...
did it because I touched it with the back of my hand earlier.
Yeah, oh well.
Just
Washing
leave it
up
there.
water's a bit hot.
Trust boys to get the temperature.
Oh, good on you, Jess. Alright.
Time for a bit of relaxing. Long day of driving. Sit around a fire, enjoy a couple of drinks. Time to relax a bit. Well, last night we camped at Munna Gorge. We got in about 6:30, 7 o'clock last night, and we'd driven 1,000 kilometres or more that day, so Sort of didn't go and explore too much, just settled down at camp and just relaxed a little bit. So this morning we got up early, used the early nice golden light to come down and explore the gorge. We checked out some of the rock art that's in here. It's quite cool, quite spectacular. I'm sure there's no doubt more spectacular sights around the place, and we'll probably see them on our trip, but nice little intro. We're going to get back to camp, go and pack up, and today we're going to go and climb Mount Meharry. So it should be good fun. Go and see how it goes. But anyway, start of our trip is now. Well, we finished at Munna Gorge, just packed up camp. We've got 1.5 kilometres of track to get back out to Great Northern Highway, then a little bit of tarmac, and then we're back onto the gravel and heading for Mount Meharry, which is the highest place in WA. It'll be cool, should be fun. It's a bit of a technical climb and descent to get up and down, but look, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue for Kieran's BT and my cruiser. Looking forward to it. So I'm going to 25 back, 20 front. As you can see, it's the Pilbara gravel, good old red dirt. That'll protect my tyres from any of the rocks. And look, we're pretty heavy still. We've got a lot of water and fuel on board, so just got to keep that in mind as well and factor that in. Anyway. The first section of track to Mount Meharry is in pretty good condition, but as you get to the base it soon deteriorates. It became pretty hard to follow in places, especially with the long grass, and we even had a few little trees we had to clear. Well, this is the track to Mount Meharry at the moment. As you can see, the few trees are over it. I don't want to go through them and scratch the car to pieces, so I'm really glad I packed this little Fiskars saw. Normally I got my electric chainsaw, but I left it at home, and I thought, oh, just in case I'll throw this in, so this will be handy. We'll get these out of the way, keep going.
Back here a second.
There's a good level patch here with minimal grass, mate. People camped here. There's a campfire there. Here we are, we're at the actual base of the climb for Mount Meharry now. It looks interesting, but I guess once we get up there and have a look, it'll look different. It looked worse from further away, now closer it doesn't look as bad, so we're just going to check the cars over before we get stuck in the thick of things, and then go and take care of the track, get up the top, because I'm really keen to have a look at the view. I think it's going to be absolutely superb. Just throwing the low range and everything in. Here's the fun bit. Good bit of track this. This is the first bit of the hill. A few little rocky steps, nothing insane. Just first gear low range. Just let the cruiser crawl up. Good fun. I do believe we're the first people up this track in quite a while. Because looking at the grass and the lack of wheel tracks, may even be the first people up it for 2018. Traction control's doing its thing, getting us up here. Pretty loose and scrabbly, so as the tyres spin, the traction control grabs them, keeps giving me traction to the other side, just maintaining a steady 1500, 2000 revs, doing about 5k an hour. The biggest challenge we found whilst climbing Mount Meharry was actually paying attention to the track. The 360-degree views around you are simply breathtaking and can quite easily distract you from driving the track. Well, here we are. We've arrived at Mount Meharry, WA's highest point. So stoked to finally be here. It is awesome. Taken us 2 days to get here. A few little hiccups on the way, but forgotten all about that. The Pilbara is just stunning. I'm loving the red cliffs, the mountains, the hills. It's awesome. You know, and now to think about it, Mount Meharry, highest point in WA. So Kieran, Eva, Jess and I, we are, with our feet on the ground, the highest people in Western Australia. I had a quick look through the visitors book before as well, and the last visitors came here about 15 days ago. So looking at that track, I honestly thought Nine had been in for over a month, but obviously the grass and the flowers and everything bounced back up pretty quick, so it's cool. We're just going to relax a bit, grab a few cold drinks, take some photos, and then make our way over to Karijini, Dale's Gorge, grab a campsite, late lunch, and check out what that has on offer for us. So anyway, let's keep moving. Making our way down Mount Meharry at the moment, taking in the gorgeous view on the way down. Just some of my thoughts on the drive up. It's, I guess, not as challenging as what it was made out to be. If you read some of the literature on the web, it's like, oh, massive washouts, big step ups. Not really the case. That being said, you will definitely still need a high clearance four-wheel drive. Definitely need low range. Diff lock, traction control, it helps, but it's probably not super necessity. If you just pick a good line, you'll get up with just open diffs. There's two sort of small step ups. You would have seen one, you would have seen us come up one on the way up. They're not too bad. Pick a good line, you'll get up them straight away. So yeah, look, if you're coming this way, your biggest battle, I think, is actually going to be just following the track with all the grass. But in terms of difficulty, that sort of thing, I think it's achievable for, you know, most stock to lightly modified touring four-wheel drives. You know, as long as you have low range and some ground clearance, you're all good. That and watch for the rocks so you don't smash your tyres. But anyway, we'll keep making our way down. We're probably halfway down. Keep enjoying this view. Hug right on the step down and then hug right on the other track as well, mate. Oh guys, what did you think of Mount Meharry?
Good view.
That's for sure.
Nice fun track to climb up as well.
Absolutely. And what did you think about being the highest people in WA?
It's not bad. It's not as cool as I thought it would be. But we're just discussing how much fun it might be to try and tackle that in the wet season with that creek in flow and so on.
Yeah, I think it would be a very, very different animal indeed. But no, I think it was cool. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was worth a bit of a detour. But yeah, for novelty's sake, if nothing else, it was cool to say we were the highest people in WA. We're down off the worst of Mount Meharry now. The rest of the track's just flat, sort of gravel track, a few little washaways, creek crossings and stuff. But all good. good fun. What we do want to do though, we had a very quick look top of Mount Meharry. There's a lot of grass seeds and stuff trapped on the front of the aircon condensers and radiators and stuff in front of the cars. So when we air up, might try and get in there with the air compressor and just blow some of it out. And I've also got a brush, a sweep, like a hand brush, dustpan and brush, and I'll try and sweep some of it out, just lodge some of it with that. But look, we knew what we were getting into, cars are prepared, and it's all good. So as part of going out and exploring, you're going to come across these little things. You just got to work with them, find a solution, keep going. So yeah, not the end of the world at all. Keep on rolling. It's amazing how much spinifex and grass seeds were trapped and collected by the AC condenser and radiator. It took us an hour to air up our tyres and clean as much of it out as possible. As you can see, the SRW screw I was running on my intercooler trapped the worst of the seeds and was removed and really easy to clean. But the radiator and AC condenser being unprotected copped an absolute hammering. So I think I'll be looking into some protective options for them before the next trip. From Mount Meharry, we only had a very short transit across to Karijini and our base camp for the next few days. We've arrived at our camp now. So we're in the Bungara Loop, Dales Gorge. We're paying $11 per person per night, so $66 for the entire stay per couple. They've given us one of the caravan sites, which means we can have both the cars on the same site, but the ground's a bit hard, so managed to just get some tent pegs in enough to hold the awning, give us some shade. But looking around, there's pretty much no shade from the trees anywhere, so you definitely need an awning if you're coming to Karijini. But look, Kira and Eva got a Foxwing up on their car, and they've got this hex tent, Oz tent hex screen thing, so all good. We're just going to grab some lunch, and then we'll go and explore Dales Gorge, hopefully jump in Fern Pool or Circular Pool and swim, because it's pretty hot. I think it's about 38 degrees at the moment, so good time to go and cool off. Yummy lunch. We have chicken and salad again. Seems to be the staple diet on camping trips for us, but it's good, all good. Tell us what we're doing here.
Trying to find out where the short on my charger has got to.
Oh, so no dual battery at the moment?
Well, yeah, it's working, but the solar's not quite cutting it at the moment.
Okay, so no charge from the alternator?
No.
Just the solar panel?
Yep.
Yes, okay, something to fix.
Very much so.
Alright. Oh, well, we'll see how we go. This is like finding an oil leak, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but harder probably because the oil leak spills out everywhere. The electricity's not exactly going to where I am.
True that.
It'd be very convenient if it was.
This is true.
So it got sandwiched right there into the body mount when we were flexing over the Mount Meharry, and
Hold it still.
chewed straight through the wire. Not great.
Yeah, not great.
Oh well. Better a body mount than a fuel line, I suppose.
Well, this is true.
Don't really want, that discharging onto the fuel line, even however briefly it may be. You can see where I'm going for. Over the wheel, under the wheel arch. This should be safe enough. Alright, I might need to. So I'm going to run that up over there.
So it got pinched in here.
Body mount behind.
Oh yeah.
If you bring it past me the camera, I'll point it out.
No, that's cool. We can see where it is. There's the body mount, and it got pinched up there.
In there.
Yes.
So thought I'd managed to run it with that, but clearly not.
I see.
Where does that run? Unless I just run it the same way.
Can you?
Cable tie it to that.
Is it on top of the chassis here, where it's run?
Yeah, it does run on top of the chassis.
Can you, while it's cut, bring it round this side and then cable tie it through there, and then go up?
Yeah. Okay. I suppose I can.
Bring it around this side of the body mount. After rerouting and rejoining the cable, we had Kieran's DC-DC wired up and fully operational again. Nothing like a little bit of bush mechanics to keep you on your toes. Well, that wraps up episode 1. If you've made it this far, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a minute of the action. And here's a quick look at what's coming up in episode 2 as we start to explore Karijini National Park. Thanks for watching Great Off-Road Adventures. Remember, if you like the videos, please let me know. Please hit like. Please drop a comment in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel. Show your support. It's always good. Love making the videos. Love to hear feedback from you all. Remember, happy safe adventuring. We'll see you next time.